Welcome back to Atland Park, Michigan, and the bowlers in this state have always embraced this game quite enthusiastically. And in the house, a couple of Hall of Famers, as we have seen Carmen Salvino on the left and Mark Roth on the right. Two new members in the Hall of Fame, Doug Kent and Danny Wiseman, Randy.
Doug Kent, Mr. Versatility, great at winning majors. On the lane's extremely intense, off the lane's just a great guy. And Danny Wiseman, probably known best for having one of the best winning percentages on television all time. Welcome to the Hall, gentlemen.
And you will be there to welcome them. X Games Aspen ends with a bang later today at 2 Eastern. Don't miss the men's and women's ski slopestyle finals. Then at 9, it's the most anticipated event in winter X Games as the world's best compete in the men's snowboard super pipe final. X Games Aspen Sunday on ESPN. Also live on Watch ESPN. All right, we look at our scoreboard right now. The Dallas Strikers moved through easily in match number 1, and they right now trail by 10 to the Motown Muscle halfway through match number 2. This is PBA League action, round number 1. Gladys Bettis, Jerome's mom, getting into it, enjoying the action here at Thunderbolt Lanes, and now the teams have swapped lanes, Randy. Ronnie Russell takes aim. Russell with an open frame in his first, and he comes back with a strike here in the 6th.
It's a really nice shot for Ronnie Russell. And when we were at commercial break prior to this match starting, Motown Muscle only got 1 shot of practice on each lane for each player. So not a lot of information for Motown. And that's a nice opening shot for them on that lane.
Brian Smith for the Strikers. A little high.
2 straight, pulled left of target and pays the price, leaving the 310. And this is just how quick the momentum can shift from one team to the next after the Strikers suffered back-to-back taps when they were on a double. The Norm Duke tap, Rhino Page leaving that ripper 7.
Nice pickup by Brian Smith here in the 6th for the Strikers. There you see the flow of information between bowlers who have already bowled on that lane and the rest of the team. Jesse Buss now for the Motown Muscle. Down by 8. Coming up, Pete Weber, the franchise player for the WTT Kingpins, owned by Billie Jean King. They await the winner of this match, and that hurts the Muscle.
Well, the only good news about that shot is they were working on a strike, so they don't lose a lot of count in terms of that 6 count off that strike. But boy, Jesse had an opportunity there to take the lead, and instead he goes right through the nose, leaving the 3-4. 6-7.
Buss with some work to do here in the 7th. Couldn't get the kick off the back wall. Open frame, the 2nd one of the match for the Motown Muscle.
That's what Amleto has done today. His team's working on a string. Amleto steps up big time, trips the 9 lead on another shot, and he's just performed beautifully. Now looking to get his team back to their striking ways.
They have not struck since Machuga in the 3rd. Amleto gets them back on track here in the 7th.
That Norm Duke's a smart guy, isn't he?
He really works the team game.
He's picking these guys, and lefty Rhino Page first. Everybody's like, what? He's picking these old Hall of Famers, and everybody's like, what?
Look at the wheels spinning, even now. Chance to set some standards on how the team game is run. Now Tom Smallwood. Smallwood from Saginaw, Michigan, 35-year-old. And he got the kick for the strike.
Just bad enough. Just bad enough.
Now there
It's the
you
right spot, baby.
see some of the love this building has shown Tom Smallwood over the years, that trip 4-pin.
Brings Mike Machuga to the lanes for the Dallas Strikers, who have a lead of 22 pins right now.
Boy, they're in a good spot too, because the best Motown Muscle can shoot right now is 214, and the Strikers can go to the wall for 246. Big shot here from Machuga.
That one just had trouble coming back.
Yeah, and it's just way too much angle on this oil pattern. And I know that Mike didn't want to throw quite that far to the right, but, you know, as the front part of the lane breaks down, you've got to move in a little bit to find some fresh head oil, but you just can't give that much of the head pin away to the right. And quite honestly, Mike was very fortunate only leaving the 2-pin.
Machuga cleans up in the 8th. Still the Strikers with a 22-pin advantage.
For this last shot. 6.
Getting late, but, you know, one unfortunate throw, and it could flip-flop very quickly as Mike Fagan thinks about where he's going to put this ball. Jerome Bettis and the rest of Motown Muscle very interested.
Jerome Bettis has got more than one 300 game to his credit. Right now, he's hoping that Mike Fagan can somehow muster a strike here in the 9th frame and cut into the 22-pin deficit.
He needs to start their comeback with the double here after Smallwood struck in the 8th. Perfect ball for Fagan. Fagan figured it out.
Mike Fagan's Gumby-like arm swing, nice and loosey-goosey. Look at that wrist actually open up at the top of the swing. He's throwing it really straight, real direct. This is what's made him one of the best players on tour, is the versatility. He came out early, and all he could do was hook it. Once he learned the straight game, that's when he started to make a ton of cash out here.
Another franchise player, Norm Duke. They are the franchise players because they finished in the top 8 in the point standing from last season, earning the franchise player tag. And Duke, not as pretty as Fagan, though, but just check the scorecard. XX.
Well, that's a huge strike there, because now, no matter what Motown Muscle does in the 10th frame, Rhino Page can step up for the Dallas Strikers and go strike 9 spare and shut out the Muscle.
Like Scroggins now, with his team down by 12. You see the maximum scores for each team. It all starts with a strike for Scroggins, and there it comes. That's 3 in a row.
Great shot by Mike Scroggins, giving his team a shot, giving him a chance, keeping him in the game, but the next shot's the big one, because that would force Rhino Page to strike first ball in the 10th.
Scroggins trying to put heat on that man. Still to bowl, Rhino Page of the Strikers. Motown Muscle are in the game once again. Scroggins to put heat on the Strikers. What? Oh boy, what a cleanup, man.
All right, so getting back to that box of chocolates thing, this was the really tasty one.
Yeah.
They've been the same every time, and this next shot is still big because of the count. Mike Scroggins strikes here again. It's strike 9 spare for Rhino Page. If Mike Scroggins gets less than a strike here, then the 10th frame for Rhino Page changes a bit.
Scroggins strikes out in the 10th. He's the man.
He just called you out for saying he was like a box of chocolates, Lon. He goes, oh yeah, watch this. Boom, boom, boom. 214 now. Rhino Page has to strike on this next shot. And then minimum 9 spare to win by 1.
Motown Muscle come up with 5 in a row to end their half. And now the Dallas Strikers to try to advance. Can the 5th seed knock off the 3rd seed here? Page needs to strike here. Can he do it? No, he cannot.
4-6-7 split and a Motown muscle.
And that will do it. The Motown Muscle come from behind here in match number 2 to defeat the Dallas Strikers to take on the New York City WTT Kingpins, Pete Weber and company. Disappointing end for Rhino.
Well, that ball checks early, goes through the nose. You know, you got to give credit to Motown Muscle. And if it's not for Mike Fagan setting up the 10th frame and then Mike Scroggins coming through, this team advances.
So Rhino Page had a chance, but he came up just short. A heartbreaking 10th frame for him. The Motown Muscle are moving through to take on second-seeded WTT Kingpins.